Destiny is read, not written. The philosophy of Ibn Arabi. You think you exist as time flows. As you walk toward the future, you believe you're experiencing something new, and that destiny is waiting for you like a blank, unwritten page. But what if everything has already happened? What if you are only living in what has already occurred? Ibn Arabi asks this question from a perspective that completely dismantles all the concepts of time in your mind. This is because, according to him, destiny is not written. Destiny is read. This means you are not creating your decree. You are observing what has already been written. You are in a state of observation, sayer, and life is like a book that you are reading, but you are not the author of that book. This is the door of Sufism. What we call time is merely a sense of direction. It is a perception of movement, an idea of a beginning and an end. But according to Ibn Arabi, this is only the result of our limited perception. We are limited because we see that something comes first and something comes later. But for Allah, there is no before or after. There is no beginning and there is no end, because He is transcendent beyond time. He looks upon all times simultaneously. And this is where the mind-burning sentence comes: everything has already happened. This means this moment is only a repetition. You think you are living, yet you are living what has already occurred. This does not diminish you. On the contrary, it brings you closer to the truth, hakikat, because you are part of a plan. You just cannot see it. We assume that time flows linearly. We come from the past. We reach the present. We walk toward the future. But Ibn Arabi says time is circular. The beginning is in the end. The end is in the beginning. In other words, the secret of the universe is hidden in the circle. The circle shows wholeness, integrity. Everything is inward. Everything happens at the same moment. And the moment you realize this, you also discover the freedom within the destiny that is offered to you. Because, according to Ibn Arabi, destiny is not a scenario taken away from you. On the contrary, it is the plan most suitable to your inherent reality, your hakikat. Whatever your essence, oz, is, that is what happens to you. Whatever the language of your soul is, the story you live is written accordingly. But this writing is not done with a pen. It is done with a truth. Because Allah knows your depths before you do, and places the most accurate mirrors in your life for you. One of those mirrors is joy. One is loss. One is friendship. One is betrayal. But they all exist to show you yourself. This is destiny. Destiny is not what happens to you. It is the truth that passes through them. So what about freedom? If everything has already happened, what am I deciding? This is where Ibn Arabi's deepest concept comes into play. Will irad is a divine attribute working within you. That is, you choose, but that choice is one that is appropriate to your reality. You are actually choosing the person you were already meant to be. And this is not a contradiction. It is a profound depth. Because freedom is not choosing every path. It is choosing the one most suitable for you. And wherever your essence is drawn, that is already your decree. So destiny is not an external text. It is the voice of your inner self. But hearing that voice is not easy, because the mind always wants other paths. Ambition drags you to other paths. Fear pushes you to side paths, but the heart always calls you to the right path. Ibn Arabi says, your path is your essence. To stray from the path is to forget your essence. Therefore, destiny is not a chain. Destiny is harmony with the essence, and time is merely your observation of this harmony. What you call the future is not even the past for Allah, because He knows everything simultaneously. But this knowledge does not negate your path, because Allah gives you your will, He gives you your intellect, He gives you your conscience, and you walk with them. As you walk, you make choices. As you make choices, you unravel your own destiny. But that destiny is already written, and that writing is inscribed within you. Therefore, as you walk in this world, you are reading your own inner self. You think you are looking at the outside world, yet that world is a reflection of your inner self. It is like looking into a mirror, but that mirror does not show you your current state. It shows you the state you are meant to be in. Ibn Arabi says, time is the embodiment of the divine attributes. That is, every moment is under the dominion of an attribute. One day is Ar-Rahman, the compassionate. One day is Al-Qahar, the subduer. One day is Al-Wadud, the loving one. One day is Al-Muntaqim, the avenger. You are shaped by those attributes. Thus, destiny is not only your path, but also the manifestation of Allah's attributes within you. That is why every event you experience is a lesson, and that lesson becomes visible through the flow of time. But you think it is happening now. Yet, everything has already happened. You are only observing, and as you see, you understand. And as you understand, you return to yourself. You think you understand as time flows. Yet, the truth is hidden outside of time. One of Ibn Arabi's secrets is this: being is not a state, it is an awareness. That is, you are not changing. You were already yourself, but you were unaware. What you call life is a process of awakening that makes you aware of yourself. That is why time is not actually a change, but a recognition. And destiny is the book of that recognition. Everything is written, but that writing is hidden in your heart. The perfect human is the one who can read this writing, the one who knows their own destiny and lives the depth of that destiny. So, how is this knowledge accessed? According to Ibn Arabi, the knowledge of the truth does not come from outside. It is not learned by rote, nor grasped by reading. That knowledge comes through unveiling. That is, an inner veil is lifted. You begin to see, and when you see, time breaks, because the past, present, and future now appear to you through the same window. The person who experiences this no longer worries nor fears. They do not cling to the future, because they know everything has already happened. And this knowledge is not an abandonment. On the contrary, it is a deep submission, teslimiyet, because you are living in accordance with your own truth, and that congruence leaves a peace in the soul. This is where Ibn Arabi's understanding of destiny reaches its peak. Destiny is fixed in the knowledge of Allah, but it unfolds through your journey in the heart. That is, as you walk, paths do not appear before you. Those paths were already there. You only begin to see them, and every time you see, there is a recognition within you, a feeling of, this is already familiar, because the truth is a part of your interior self, and every part wants to return to the whole. This return is the internal journey that Ibn Arabi calls the Sayr-i Suluk, spiritual journey. It is a human being returning to themselves. But this return does not happen with time. It happens by passing through time, because time is a labyrinth. But that labyrinth was designed not to lose you, but to turn you back toward yourself. And every pain, every loss, every waiting is like a letter inscribed on the walls of that labyrinth. If you learn to read, you will not get lost. This is why, when Ibn Arabi talks about time, he always talks about the moment, and because the moment is the most real state. There is no past nor future, only the now. And the now is where Allah is most present. Because He is in a state of continuous new creation every moment. In the Quranic phrase, He is in a state of work. Beshende, dear, every moment. Every moment is a new becoming, a new birth, a new attribute, a new meaning. If you remain in the now, you will find Him. But if you live in the past, you will drown in your regrets. If you live in the future, you will burn with your anxieties. Therefore, the now is sacred, and destiny unfolds through the now. What you call your destiny was meant to be this way is actually your current perspective. If the perspective changes, the path changes. If the path changes, the writing is read anew. Because although what is written seems fixed, your way of understanding is infinite. According to Ibn Arabi, the truth does not change, but its reflections transform continuously. And as you observe those reflections, you observe your inner self. Therefore, the perfect human is the one who submits to their destiny. But at the same time, they are the one who lives by being aware of their destiny. That is, they both walk and know, both feel and remain silent, both cry, and yet a secret smiles within them, because they know that this too shall pass, because this too was written, and what is written is beautiful, because the one who wrote it is beautiful. The greatest pain that befalls you is a birth, a breaking, a construction, because destiny sometimes destroys to build, sometimes takes to give, sometimes silences to make heard. These divine inversions remove time from being an ordinary measure and transform it into a carrier of secrets. Time is no longer a calendar. It becomes a map. And you do not get lost on this map, because the compass within you has started working. Ibn Arabi's final call is this: do not let time drag you. You observe time, because the truth is in your sight, Gurish, not in time. So stop now. Take a look. Ask yourself, is this thing I'm experiencing really happening now? Or am I living what has already happened? And a voice will rise from within your heart. Everything had already happened. You are only remembering now.